I was born Catholic. Like, I was baptized as a baby. My first encounter with Jesus actually was when I was 8 years old. I had a dream and Jesus showed up for like a week straight. As soon as I told an adult, like my parents, they like betrayed me. Immediately took me to the doctors to get me checked out. I got hospitalized. So ever since then, I kind of like kept quiet about my faith. So I continued on going to Catholic church because my parents were very strict about it. As soon as I turned 18, I completely left the church. I started drinking all the time with friends. I started smoking weed. Right after COVID, I got diagnosed with bipolar, anxiety, depression, and I was even put on suicidal watch.
Growing up, I did CCD, and I was baptized through the Catholic Church, and I got my first communion. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older in high school where I kind of shifted a little bit. I went to Bay Path for a couple years. I switched over my sophomore year back up to David Prouty. First day, the teacher took my phone away. I was on my phone. So after class, she just said, don't let it happen again. She gave me it back. And then a couple weeks went by and she called me up to the front of the class and she just asked me if she could speak to me. Now, her name's Miss Astolfi, and she was probably like 60 years old at the time. She said, please don't tell anybody that I'm telling you this, but I was in church last night and we were praying and your face came up and I had the sudden urge to pray for you. God told me that you have a calling for him and that you need to go seek him. And as a 15, 16-year-old kid who hung out at the skate park every day after school, I wasn't interested.
My story begins growing up Catholic with my brothers and sisters. We went to church every Sunday, so we had a lot of struggles growing up. There was a time we were homeless. I lived in a garage hiding from a landlord with my brother. I literally learned how to shave in Webster McDonald's. When we did have a place to live, it didn't have electricity. We had battery-powered lights on our Christmas tree. We did homework with flashlights under blankets because we were freezing. School never knew about it. We just faked smile. We just went there and put our faces on, and we didn't want people to know because we didn't want to be pulled apart. I was married, very unhappy for a long time, had a lot of hurt. I was unfaithful. I sinned. You can't take that back. You can't. There's no way. You can't take that hurt. I carry it every day. Being a grown man doesn't matter. It's heavy and it's hard to carry. But you just have to accept that you can hurt people and feel hurt and carry hurt, but you can only carry that for so long. And you have to let it go. It's hard to still feel worthy.
I was very stubborn, so God and the devil both fought really hard over me. In the end, God overcame, and he won this battle for me. 6 months after that, I tragically lost my best friend in a car accident. So this really made me stumble again over my own faith. I was questioning God. I was dealing with anger. I was like, God, why would you do that to me? Over time, he started revealing why things needed to happen the way it did. I had this idea that following God meant just good things for myself. And that is not the truth. He showed me that following him actually means a lot of difficulties, but in return, there is glory for not just myself, but for God's kingdom.
After graduation, she ended up moving to Texas, and we stayed in contact. Just keep telling me that I had a calling from God, and this was 4 years later, and she's still telling me it. And her husband ended up passing away a couple years later, and she sent me his Bible in the mail with just a bunch of scriptures and just sticky notes and things hidden in it that she wanted me to read. And I poked around in it for a little bit, but I couldn't get into it. It was really, really hard for me. 3 years ago, I was on vacation with my good friend Skylar Fournier. I was telling him the story about it, and he pretty much opened my eyes. He said, listen, this lady's been so persistent for 15 years. She doesn't owe you absolutely anything. Skylar said, the least I could do is give her the benefit of the doubt and just try out church.
As hard as it was to get over my anger and my grief, I returned to church. Actually, the first church that I found was Faith Church. As soon as I walked in there, Pastor Matt, he immediately noticed me and welcomed me and introduced me to Peyton and LC and a few other young adults. I immediately felt welcomed and seen, it was really the community at Faith that made my faith as strong as it is today. Like, I have so many people I can trust, whereas I grew up with like almost no family, you know? Like, I just never thought like anyone would hear my voice or that my thoughts mattered. But to Jesus and to my brothers and sisters at Faith, they have definitely made me feel like I have a family there. They've truly like opened my eyes to what God's love is for me. So overwhelming, kind of. But that's also how like Jesus' love felt at first. It was like, wow, so overwhelming.
Probably like 2 or 3 weeks later, I showed up to church, and actually it was the day Skylar was getting baptized. It just felt like just I belonged there, you know what I mean? You know, I started going to church with my ex-wife and my family, you know, a couple weeks after Skylar's baptism, and then she had an affair a couple months after that, and that really sunk me into it. That's kind of when I was just like, okay, you know, I don't agree with what just happened, but his plan, whether it's I want to accept it or not, and I want it to be my plan or not, just kind of put it in his hands and just walk until he told me to, you know, which way to go, or really, you know. Been going every Sunday ever since. It's a great community with just so many just nice people that actually care, that don't owe you anything in the world. The possibilities that God opens up for me is just, you know, it's miraculous. I was going alone for the longest time, where it was just me and my son, and now I got my sister and her boyfriend to come, and my dad will come sometimes, and my friend will come sometimes with me, and I got some of the guys that I work with on a construction crew to come to Faith Church with me. I can't think of a better thing to do on my Sunday mornings than just go there and have fun.
I did it wrong, but I'm blessed in my life I have now. Meeting Lon, my wife, meeting her has been the greatest thing. And I found a soulmate, and I found a true, honest soul with the biggest heart in the world. My whole life, one of the words I always used was believe. Just keep believing. Believe in yourself, believe in others, believe in God. He just had so much love. That's why he paid the cross, paid for what he did on the cross for us. And he did it for me, for you, for everybody in the room. Talk about not feeling worthy. And are any of us worthy of that? Sometimes it's hard to believe we are, to even comprehend. I have learned that I am enough. 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread wasn't enough. And look what he did with that.
One thing I was like debating over was, should I get baptized? And actually, I prayed to God, and he actually answered directly with a customer. She started talking about church, actually. And then she said, you know, I actually lead a church, and I'm doing baptisms this upcoming Sunday. And I'm like, I actually have a question about baptisms. I was like, should I get baptized? Even though I got baptized as a kid in the Catholic Church. And she goes, definitely. And do you know why? Your baptism is like a marriage to God. It's not like disregarding the work of God in my life. It is actually confirming that he's been there, he's always been there, and then I resurrender to God.
After I started the whole church thing at Faith Church, I started doing a Bible study with my teacher every Sunday after church on Zoom. And just some old lady that took my phone away one day in school became like just the most important person in my life. You know, probably like 6 months ago, she called me one day and said she was in Massachusetts and she wanted me to go to church with her. And me and my son, we packed our stuff up and we went to her church in Worcester. And we just had a grand old time. It was very emotional. Just ever since then, I've just been really just devoted to give myself to God and my family. And whether I do have a calling from God or not, you know, I hope I do. You know what I mean? I hope I do. That'd be wonderful. But if not, then I'm okay with just walking whatever way he wants me to walk.
There's been a couple of Sundays, baptism days, where I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm doing it. No, I can't. I think what's helped me get here was being in a small group, listening to people's stories. Everybody has their own stuff, and I didn't think I realized how much everybody has. We all need him. He's there. You gotta be willing to take that step. just a baby step, just one step forward. I took it. I'm here. I'm not one to do this type of thing, but I'm doing this in hopes that someone out there is like me. I'm just an ordinary, hardworking guy that I carry a ton. I put on the face, and I fake it till I make it. Now I'm gonna make it. It's time. Today I'm giving it to Him, to God, to take it, to help me carry it. Because it's too heavy for just me. I'm ready. It's time. Hopefully it's time for someone else out there in the crowd that is feeling the same way. Decide today is the day. I'm going to put a shirt on. I'm going in. I'm washing away everything. My name is Mark, and I have decided to follow Jesus.
My name is Michelle, and I've decided to follow Jesus.
My name is Jack, and I decided to follow Jesus.